Okay, and then, you know, every once in a while, take a look at this and make sure that, like I said, everything looks like that it's lined up straight and that everything is going good. We've got a nice even height here on both sides. Everything looks like it's coming together. The top of the receiver is starting to press down into the rod there at the ejection port. And like I said, just keep going slow. And if you see it do this, if you see your flat start to jump a little bit, back off. It's trying to find its own place. So just back off of it just a little bit. Take the pressure off of it, off of the ram. Let it come up. See where it wants to be. Make sure that your wings are coming into the sides where they need to be. Okay? And go ahead and push her back down again. Keep an eye on what's going on. And just like I said, go slow. You got all the time in the world. This is not a race. And I'm sorry, I got my arm in front of the whole picture there. See how it's starting to come together now? I'll try to let you guys see that a little bit better. Keeping an eye on everything's lining up here. We've got good lines. We're coming together pretty straight right there, as you can see. I'm just using the tape so you can see it a little bit better. We're coming together good there. Looks like we're coming together at the right height. Okay. Might want to just back it off just a little bit, the pressure, let it relax. Let these wings find their center in the bottom of that notch again. Nothing shifted, we just had a little pop there. I'm going to stop this and take the camera out so you guys can see this a little better, how it's coming together. Okay, I've pulled this around here so you guys can see this a little bit better. You can see how we're nice and lined up here. We got a good even distance in between our edges. Nice and lined up right here. Maybe going to be just a little bit high, but that could be because of the angle on this a little bit. We'll see how she finishes up. Like I said, just continue to go slow. When you start getting this close, one press of the handle will just about close you up. Okay? Now I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at everything again. Looking good there. Looking real good there. Everything's lining up nice. About one more press of the handle and we'll be about done. We're coming together a little faster in the back than we are the front, but that's not a problem. Right now our top of our magazine, or I'm sorry, the top of our ejection port is rolling down against this bar that's in here. So sometimes that'll cause this front end of the receiver to hang up just a little bit more while that's pressing. We're just taking our time. Okay, this should be about the last pump of the handle. Okay, there we are. We're closed in the back. We're almost closed in the front. And I'm going to give it just enough to close it up in the front. And then I'm going to stop. Okay? Then you can release your press. Lift your receiver and your mandrel out of there. Try not to be holding your video camera while you're doing this. Slide your pressing mandrel out and there you go. You just bent a flat. Everything's lined up nice and even. We spread back apart a little bit when we took it out of there, but not to worry, guys. That is just about right what you want for when you squeeze this together to tack weld it. Put a couple of clamps. Okay, here you can see what I'm talking about. What I do is, the way I do this seems to work really well for me, is I'll go ahead and slide my my trunnion up into the receiver, and then I'll stick it in my rubber jawed vise, and I'll squeeze this together around the trunnion until I get this receiver to match up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tack it with my TIG welder. I'm going to tack it right there, just one small tack. That way if I have to take it back apart and line something up, I can. I don't want to weld this whole thing. I just want to tack it right there, just enough to hold it. Okay, and likewise here in the back, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stick the bolt carrier that I'm going to use for my build in there, and then I will slide that bolt carrier in place, put it in backwards so you got something to grab onto it with, and then put a clamp here on the back, and just clamp this together just so it barely touches. You don't want to really cramp down on it. Just enough clamp to bring those two edges closed again. And again, the reason for doing that is if you've got your bolt carrier in there, when you clamp this down to tack weld it, whatever heat that you have that might want to pull that receiver up, it's not as likely to do it. Plus, it kind of keeps things lined up for you. So, and if you, oh yeah, see, and this receiver is going to be real good because I've got that clamped where I want to tack weld it, and my bolt carrier will slide in and out there. I haven't even formed the rails or anything yet, so once I form these rails up and square these rails, I may not have to do a whole lot of even any kind of tweaking to this thing. So again, the thing that makes this possible, come up with a good fit like this, is not over squeezing the thing when you're pressing this. Just press it far enough to get these edges to come together. Same way when you're putting this together, just bring these edges together. Don't really crank down on it. Just get it as close as you need to get it to put a little tack weld. Go ahead and tack weld the back like we did the front, and after you're done there, move up here to the back of your magazine well and do the same thing there. And like I say, just when you clamp this, just clamp it just tight enough to get those edges to come together. If you squeeze this together too tight back here in the back, that's enough right there. Just enough to bring those edges together. You don't want it any tighter than that. If you start squeezing any tighter than that, then you're going to have issues up front with your mag well. And while I've got it here, before I do any kind of welding onto the back of that mag well, or before I weld the back of the receiver up, I'll put my clamp on here at the back of the mag well like I've got it now, and then just take an old mag or a good mag and stick in there and see, hold back on it, push back and pull up. Now that one came loose. Push back. Okay, I just didn't have it seated good. If you hold rearward pressure on this magazine and you try to pull up on it and you can't get it to come out of there, that tells you that you can see on the end of your trunnion there the magazine catch. That magazine catch should be sticking out just a little bit beyond the front of your mag well. If you don't have your trunnion back in there far enough, then what you'll have to do is you'll have to down here in the bottom where your trunnion meets up against the rails, you may have to trim a little bit off of your rails right here to let your trunnion move back far enough so that you get a good solid catch on that magazine. But like I said, just throw your magazine in there, hold back on it, and then pull up hard as you can. And you should not be able to pull that magazine out of that well unless you rock it forward a little bit.